Welcome to RIoT Startup Spotlight, where we shine a light on the visionaries and disruptors who are shaping the future. I'm Jen Morgan, and today we bring you an exclusive interview with Julia Kotulska, founder and CEO of Synergize. Hi, Julia. To begin, can
Hello.
you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me. So Synergize, in a big shortcut, it's a Tinder for young entrepreneurs in academia. So the goal of the company is to link and essentially match through a very complex algorithm students that have a concrete, solid business ideas. I like to call them the visionaries, with students that are the integrators. So the individuals that don't necessarily have a concrete idea yet, but that know for certain that want to join in on a startup and become co-founders that have the skill set, the motivation, the time, the compatible personality, and many, many different factors that come into place that prove to be compatible in order to become that partner. So yes, I'm trying to build an entrepreneurial community through this. Yeah, and hopefully it'll all work out.
Awesome. So what kind of experiences slash influence made you want to do this? Like, what's your background?
Yeah, of course. So I'm still a student. I have my bachelor in international business administration that I did in Rotterdam. And right now I'm completing my master thesis with Schema Business School. It's an interesting school that has campuses all over the world. And my first semester was done in Paris. And there, apart from studying, I was also a marketing manager for a university incubator, if I can call it like that. And while creating the content for the incubator, I realized that many students would come to me and tell me that, well, the reason for why we don't want to have a startup, even though we have an idea, is that we don't have anybody to create it with. We don't have the time to do it alone. We are missing the skills to do it alone. And I asked, well, then why don't you use platforms that help you find a co-founder? And the responses that I got was that these platforms that are available are extremely overwhelming. They link you with anybody across the world. It's tried to filter out to the small community that these students wanted to find their co-founders in. And so I realized that there's a huge problem existing, and it was very frustrating to me when I heard these great ideas that they're not going to be commercialized nor put into place just because of a simple problem like that. And so then I decided that it is time for someone to create a tool that will link universities and students, alumni in these universities, and create this network of entrepreneurial minds that are willing to co-create with one another.
That's really interesting. Um, as you were working through that tool, like what really inspired you to be your own company, be your own entrepreneur?
Yeah, for sure. So both of my parents are entrepreneurs. And so I've always, seen them create things and just put things into place, solve solutions with business ideas, which now that I'm thinking about it, was a crazy thing to see as a child and help out in all the processes. For some context, my mom, one day she decided that she wants to create a like international high school in Poland, in the city of Krakow. That was around 8 years ago. It was a very tough process. I've been with her through it. I tried to help out as much as I could. But well, today I'm proud to say that we're one of the top schools in Poland, and people are trying to get into to the school to get a spot. We're pretty selective, so it all came to being and it all worked out. It of course did come with a lot of hard work, but seeing that grow and become reality was one of the most inspiring things that kind of led me to see, well, entrepreneurship, it's not necessarily this phrase that is in academia and you understand it and you kind of push it aside. No, it's something that anybody can actually like come into and try to create, even though perhaps it won't work out, or it will. Like, you got to try, you got to put your motivation in it. My dad, he's a pilot, but he also runs a company. So he didn't have the time to train as much as acrobatic pilots for contests, for like international contests, because he's the CEO of a company. So he decided that in order to save time, he's going to build a simulator, an acrobatic simulator in our basement, that is going to help him train in a faster way than having to go to the airport, grab the plane out, etc. And right now he's selling the simulator to companies such as Red Bull. So I really had inspiring figures in my life. I'm extremely lucky in terms of that. That showed me that really anything is possible.
That's awesome. So what are some of the biggest challenges you've encountered as a startup founder thus far, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, there were quite a few challenges on the way. They still appear. One of them was the cultural difference. So I myself, I'm from Poland. And when I tried pitching the idea in Poland, it didn't really come through as well as it did here. I felt a huge difference in terms of the attitude and approach of, let's say, I don't want to say adults, I'm an adult myself, but um, people, let's say, that are of age 50 plus towards students that have ideas. It was more of a, oh, are you sure this is going to work? Maybe, leave it for now, focus on your studies, do it a little later. Of course, I'm not talking about my parents here. They were incredibly supportive, but other individuals in the academic, society, in the entrepreneurial society, the support was a little, yeah, off, let's say. So when I heard Tom and Rachel like be so interested in my idea and invite me to do the accelerator, I was shocked. It felt really incredible. I've never felt that like seen, you know what I mean? And so I decided, of course, I'm coming for the summer. This is going to happen. This huge like contrast between these like cultural characteristics made me realize that this is something I need to kind of use. This is not a common thing in my culture. So yeah, that was one of the challenges. I started doubting myself a little, which of course now I know that it's not a thing that should be done. But yeah, that was one of the challenges.
Yeah, definitely can understand that the economy for sure.
Yeah.
Um, you touched on this a little bit about your parents being such strong influences on you. But do you have any other mentors or role models who have inspired you along your journey?
Yes, I would say my professor from my business school that I met here in Raleigh. He was my entrepreneurship professor, and he still supports me. He's still my mentor. We call every other day. It's incredible how much knowledge he gave me and how through like from day one he really treated me as an equal. I never felt like, he's looking down on me because he's got so many companies. He's so successful in life. He's a consultant. He does all these things. And at the same time, he really treated me as an equal partner when discussing, business matters and my idea. And it was really him that kind of instilled this confidence in me to go through with my project and to see it as more than just a fun little thing that I'm doing. Um, so yeah, I owe him a lot, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Um, what advice would you give to other aspiring entrepreneurs and future startup founders based off of your own experiences?
Mhm. So the first one I'd say would be to really focus on the customer discovery process and really like realize how crucial it is. Um, one of the um, one of the most, I would say, important things that Tom and Rachel have taught me was that it's really, really important to like know your problem and not be too focused on your solution, because oftentimes people love their idea, love their solution, but don't realize that perhaps the solution isn't the perfect one to fit to the and to address the need that is there. And so, it's It means that you have to put all of your biases aside and really go into your target market and start talking with people and really deeply analyzing the issue, putting aside all of your assumptions. It's a challenging thing to do, but it just definitely is one of the greatest lessons that yeah that I went through and that I would advise anybody to really keep in mind. And of course, another thing is to never get to never feel like what you're doing is pointless. Many people, I feel like along the way, especially when we're talking about like young entrepreneurs, will try to undermine what you're doing and kind of emphasize that perhaps it is not the best time because you're so young, you're so unexperienced. Yeah, I would advise really not to take that personally, and not to perhaps listen to that as much and try to push through with your idea and have this mindset of, even if you will not start making billions, like, I don't know, 5 years from now, it's an incredible experience. And I think personally, these past few weeks here with RIoT have taught me more than, I don't know, a few months in a business school. Yeah, it's a wonderful experience to try to implement something, and of course to succeed later on. That is my plan. But my advice would be not to get, yeah, not to think that you're incapable because people are talking just to go through.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that's all the questions that we have. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day too.